Hey everybody, it is once again Tuesday. I'm Jason over at Paydirt DFS. We're going to take a look at the models today to figure out how we should be building for this large main slate we have. I believe we got 11 games on tap. Looks like there's some really good contest. Feels like a little bit of a disgusting pitching night. We'll go into that into more why. But it seems like there's some pretty volatile chalk off there that the models really want us to avoid. Also, too, we might be having a special guest join later in the show. We shall see. But let's jump right into it. As always, we're going to start with pitchers. So starting with pitchers, when we sort by median projection here, you're going to see that Max Fried has the highest median projection of any pitcher on the slate. He is also the most expensive, so there's going to be some opportunity costs there. Right below him, we do have Shane Smith, who just screams like an elite value today going against the Houston Astros. Houston has not been great, and against right-handed pitching specifically, they leave there's a little bit less to be desired there. Going and taking a look just at Shane Smith today too, just to kind of point to why that projection is so strong. These are our research sheets over at Paydirt DFS, and this is the true average sheet where you can see the true average of which each pitcher should be giving up to both sides of the plate. This is not indicative of what they've actually done. This is more what they should be doing. So Shane Smith, you can see here, to lefties, a little bit, struggles a little bit. To righties, has been absolute nails. So, and he should be continue to be nails. When I go look at the current slate overview at Shane Smith, high strikeout rate, 25%. Walk rate of 10%. You don't really love that, but overall true average, because he's so dominant to the right-hand side of the plate, it's pretty good. And he shouldn't be giving up much more power than he is in the most recent sample. He should have given up one more home run. That's really it. When we go look at his active baselines, so first we're going to look at him versus left-handed pitching. So here, Shane Smith, you're going to see against lefties, true average of 0.26. His walk rate is that 10% you saw. His K rate lowers. Expected slugging's not high. Expected home runs, 2, not bad, but the true average is not fantastic. When you look at him against right-handed pitching, his walk rate's the same, but his K rate jumps to 28%. True average is low. Expected slugging's low. His expected batting average is not supposed to get much better, and his expected home runs at 3. That's okay, but his expected home runs per plate appearance is one of the lowest on the slate here. So I like Shane Smith a lot today, especially because he is not going to face any lefties. Houston, Jordan's not back yet. Looking at their lineup, they have one lefty today, and his name is Jacob Melton. I am more afraid of my grandmother from the left side of the plate than I am Jacob Melton. So overall, Shane Smith just a pretty strong value today. He's going to be a cornerstone of our lineups probably in all formats today. Mackenzie Gore is next at 10K. He's getting some ownership, and look, I understand he's been really, really good. If you want to go and pick on the New York Mets, like you could be my guest. I personally just don't really advise that. And it's just tough, man. They don't strike out a lot. A lot of their good bats are from the right side of the plate too. And I just don't think I don't think this is a ceiling spot for Gore. Can you play him? Absolutely. I am not going to touch him in small field today. I'm only playing in the $44. I'm not playing large field. I am not going to touch him today. If other people have a better lean about it, you can. But at 10K, he's hardly a value. So if you want to play him for a ceiling outcome, he has the highest ceiling on the slate you can. Not really what I'm going to do. You do have Dylan Cease, which to me is like kind of crazy if this ownership really is true. 37% owned against the LA Dodgers. I don't know. I don't know about that. 8,400. He is so cheap. He has not been that great as of late. His results have been much, much worse than his actual, I guess you could say baselines. And let's go take a look actually in our baselines and see really quickly, should we be looking at Dylan Cease today? So Dylan Cease from the right side of the plate, K rate's elite, 35% K rate. That's insane. Walk rate below 10. You love that. True average, very low. Everything's very low here. Expected home runs is a little bit high, but he is pitching in a pitcher's ballpark tonight against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers from the right side of the plate outside of Mookie Betts. I don't know if anybody is really going to scare you enough to the point where you really want to, you want to attack Cease either. Like, with Will Smith, you have Teoscar, like you have some really, really good bats, but probably some matchups he could probably win. We look at him to the left side of the plate here. You see Dylan Cease. His expected slugging, not good. True average is low, though. You like that. K rate, good. Expected home runs of 5, not great. And we look at expected home run for plate appearance today. He's like middle of the pack in terms of other pitchers. I don't know. Like, in small field, if he is going to be that high owned, you definitely want to get a taste of him, because if he nukes, you're kind of dead without him. And for the ceiling that he has shown, this is very, very cheap. This is a guy earlier this year that was in the high 9s and low 10s. So he's got upside, he's got ceiling. I just don't know if I really want to pick on him that much. And here's another reason. Sorry, I don't think I want to pick on the Dodgers that much, I should say. Here's why. Against right-handed pitching, this is over the last 14 days. The Dodgers, third best team in baseball, weighted runs created. ISO as a team close to 200. You like that a lot. Slugging, very high, almost 500 collectively as a team. 21% strikeout rate, putting them at like starting to get towards the bottom middle of the league in that category. I just don't really want to pick on the Dodgers here. I don't want to do it. I get that it's a park upgrade for pitching, but I just can't do it, man. I just feel like this slate is too big. There's other places you can attack. But in small field, if you do want to eat some of that ownership to lower your volatility, you can. Getting back to this, one of my favorite pivots of the night is Chris Bassett. 7,700. We've had him for a median of 18. I like him a lot tonight. St. Louis is a pitcher's ballpark too. It's starting to get a little bit warmer there, so it is a little bit better than you would think actually for hitting. But honestly, I don't think it's anything to write home about. When I go and look at their total too, the game is a 7.5 run total. Bushfield, it's going to be hot, but it's not really going to be that humid. And also too, Bassett has been a little bit worse to the left side of the plate. And I don't think the Cardinals have some bats out of the lineup tonight. So, yeah, there's no Lars Nootbaar. There's Mason Wynn. There's Ivan the God Herrera. There's Brendan Donovan. There's Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Victor Scott. I just don't think it's really a lineup that's going to scare me much. And I like Bassett quite a bit as a pivot. When I go look at him in our research sheets, maybe they'll point me to something different. But I look at Chris Bassett here against righties. His expected home runs are very, very high at 5, so you don't love that. Expected slugging of 450, not great. His true average is 0.24. You like that. He's not walking people. K rate north of 20%, so not bad. And against lefties, Chris Bassett, kind of the same profile, really. He's kind of like what's that Spider-Man gif where like they're both pointing at each other? It's the same guy to both sides of the plate here. So that's pretty interesting to look at. And so I just don't know if this lineup is really going to have what it takes to really handle him. And I'm not saying he's going to go out there and mow and put up a 30 burger, but on a pitching slate where we're probably okay if your value guy gets you 15 to 18, I kind of think it's okay. When I go and look at St. Louis over the last few weeks, so bottom middle of the pack in strikeout rate, ISO 139. That's nothing to really, write home about. WRC plus of 96. So probably puts them like lower middle of the pack. Yeah, right there, lower middle of the pack. I think they're fine. I mean, let's look at them over the last 30 days. Over the last 30 days, they were striking out less and the weighted runs created plus was better. Looks like they're trending in the wrong direction. And now they don't have one of their better hitters tonight in Nootbaar. So I don't mind Chris Bassett, as a pivot at 7,700. I know he's very, very Jekyll and Hyde, but at least that with him. And I like how low owned he is. He just came off a really good game against Philadelphia, 25 fantasy points, and then he got absolutely clubbed against the Athletics and Tampa Bay. But then he went and mowed San Diego, right? So two of the better teams on paper with, better batters, less strikeout rates, he's fared fine. So I like him tonight. I think it's a little bit of a watered down lineup, but definitely somebody you can consider. Then you have Kyle Harrison. So Kyle Harrison, while I do think you can attack the Rockies with anybody tonight, I really do honestly believe that. The one thing that I don't love about Kyle Harrison is his pitch mix. So he throws really only 3 pitches. He throws a fastball, four-seamer, which he throws about 50% of the time. That's totally fine. But then he throws two off-speed pitches. He throws a slurve, and his slurve has a ton of horizontal movement on it. It kind of flattens in Coors Field. Usually you want pitchers that are fastball heavy, sinker heavy. They tend to do a little bit better. But he throws that slurve that has a lot of horizontal break on it, which it's not going to break in this park. And also he does have a changeup, which if you've been playing MLB DFS more than a year, you know what happens to changeups in Coors. So I'm going to give a buyer beware there. I do think at 6,600 he's cheap enough where it could be a discussion, but I just wouldn't be surprised if he puts out a stat line today that's like he strikes out 5, he has like 3 earned runs on like 4 hits. Like I could see something like that. But yeah, I think he's fine if you want to go there. Just he's probably a little too. I just don't think you need to click that button today. Griffin Canning. So Griffin Canning's another mega giga chalk pitcher today. So Griffin Canning has been very, very good for the Mets. Washington, though, surprisingly, has been pretty tough to deal with from the right-hand side of the plate. So sort of by weighted runs created plus, like that won't really scare you at 98. But ISO 156, that's not really fantastic. The slugging is low. This strikeout rate at 17% is just incredibly low. So this game too, they're playing in Citi Field, so it is a pitcher's park. I don't mind Griffin Canning. I think he's shown you a ceiling enough at this price tag where if you want to go there, you could feel good about it. But I do worry about the upside from a K perspective. Let's actually go take a look at our betting models really quick and just see what we have Griffin Canning at for strikeouts today. So these are our betting models over at Paydirt DFS. You can go look at the game betting models. You could look at, pitcher projections, hitter prop projections. You can go find an edge on any book you really want. So I go and I sort by Ks here. Griffin Canning, 5.61 Ks, so he's got to hit 6 enough times to get it up there, probably even 7 in the simulations. So I feel a little bit better after seeing that we haven't projected for that much. But you look here too, you see Mackenzie Gore at, almost 7 and Shane Smith above 6 and same with Cease. So I think Griffin Cannon's fine. He is very, very, very chalky. In small field, I feel a little bit better about eating that than I do Dylan Cease. I know that's scary because I don't think Griffin Canning is, an amazing pitcher by any means, but he had a really bad start against the Dodgers, had a bad start against the Chicago White Sox where he walked some people and then they kind of just dink and dunk some runs on him. But then he went out and absolutely shoved on the road in LA. So I think he's fine. To go look at his baselines just really quickly. So this is against lefties. So Griffin Canning, high K rate to lefties, high walk rate too. I don't love that. True average is very low. Expected slugging is kind of high. Like that worries me with Abrams and Wood. And, Washington's going to throw a lineup out there that's probably going to have like 6 or 7 lefties in it. Yep. Abrams, Wood, Lowe, Bell, Garcia, Hassel, Ruiz, Tennis. So yeah, they're actually throwing out 8 guys from the left side of the plate. So just be wary of that. I think you could use them in spots, but I do think Chris Bassett is a pretty good pivot off of him. So just something to keep in mind. And he's only seeing one righty, so I kind of don't really care about that too much. But overall, those are our top pitching options of the night. You also have Lucas Giolito too, who's projecting like a pretty fine value against Tampa Bay. I'm not going to touch that personally. If you want to do that, you can, but I'm not touching that. When we go and sort by 2x percentage, and we're just going to rerun this whole thing just to see. Kyle Harrison, Shane Smith, Bassett, and Giolito are the most valuable pitchers at their salary, followed by Griffin Canning, Dylan Cease, Jose Soriano, and then, so on and so forth. But overall today, and I'm going to see what the Sims say, I'm probably starting most of my lineups today with a combination of Shane Smith, Griffin Canning, maybe Shane Smith. We'll get to McCullers in a little bit. He's very high owned, but he's going to lower your volatility, and he does get the Chicago White Sox. But that's probably what I'm going to be leaning with today. And, maybe I'll go to some Cesar Harrison, but I really have a strong feeling about Shane Smith, and I think Chris Bassett is a really good pivot. I think you play those two, and then you go grab some Coors bats. You feel pretty good about your volatility. Looks like we have our special guest has joined. I'm gonna add him now. Oh, Tribe, what's going on, man? Oh, I think you may be on mute.
Let me unmute myself. There we go.
Are you drinking? Are you drinking like an ice right now? What are you drinking?
I don't know what this is.
It's
It
not.
was it was it was something that was left over from the Memorial Day cookout.
Is that a? Oh, is that a Mike's Hard you're drinking?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Okay. I won't tell people it's Mike's Hard, but okay. I like it. I thought it was a Smirnoff Ice for a second. I was about to say you're a sicko if you're gonna if you're drinking that on a Tuesday night building MLB liners. I was about to say those four kids you have must be really putting you through the ringer tonight, man.
Oh my gosh. Nah.
So appreciate you joining. We were just going over pitching today. We're going to start there before we got to bats. So I talked them through, Shane Smith being a really good value. Chris Bassett, Dylan Cease is cheap for his upside, but it's a scary matchup. Kyle Harrison, the same thing, and Griffin Canning. What are your takes on pitching tonight?
I mean, the chalk is something, right? It's going to be Cease Canning, I guess. Well, Cease Canning and then Cease McCullers, but McCullers sucks. And the sheets think he sucks. So I'm not playing McCullers. I do like Shane Smith. I'm probably not eating like both chalk pitching spots. So I think you mentioned this, like Canning, Smith. So I'm good with that. Smith Cease or Smith Canning, either one is probably where I'm starting, and that's in small field. And by small field, I mean like under 1,000, like the 44, the 88, all of those, the 121, like all of those contests, like that's probably where I'm starting with pitching. I don't hate Freed. It's spelled Fried, whatever.
Yeah. Max Fried.
If you can get there, like he's fine. That's like the extent of my pitcher pool, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's tough tonight. And you look at a guy like Max Fried, he's been really, really good, but he's not like this traditional, like high strikeout pitcher. Like that's not who he's been over the last few years. Yeah. And now he's going up against the Kansas City Royals, who really just like don't strike out much. And even when you go look at their numbers over the last 30 days, 20% strikeout rate, a 102 ISO, so that they suck too. Reds created plus is 76. So they're not good, but like I feel like you're banking on him just like not giving up any sort of earned runs or any damage. And even our strikeout projection on him, we have him for a projection of 6 strikeouts today. So if I'm going to pay 10-5 for somebody, I don't know how much I'm really going to get there. But I also don't want to play Gore either at 10K. Like I think the Mets can make his life a little bit more difficult. And I get we haven't projected high, but like even at 10K, like for less than 7 Ks against a team that doesn't strike out a ton in the Mets, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I want to go there, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, going to bats now. So I'm just going to give our scoring percentages tab a rerun here. So we see here that first and foremost, you have Arizona as having the highest chance to score 8 runs or more tonight, followed by the Angels. The Angels might be my favorite team to play. I think they are so fun, dude. Like when they pop off, it's just like a tsunami of home runs. So I love playing them. But I definitely want to get your take on this today, because I do think that some of the chalk offenses that we have here, some of them are projected really good and some of them really aren't. So you talked about using probably one of your pitcher spots to get different. I'm debating that, or I might even debate getting different in both spots and playing chalk bats. But what are you thinking for offenses today?
Yeah. So Arizona, they're pricey. I'm probably not 5-manning them. I'm probably, if I play them, it's probably going to be mini stacks. Angels, I would definitely 5-man them. Boston, similar thing. Like I would mini stack them just because I think full 5, like I don't think their whole team is good enough to warrant that. I feel like you can just prioritize the best you want from them. Who else is popping? Seattle, I don't mind 5-manning them. Cal Raleigh is outrageously expensive though for a catcher.
Yeah, he is, but he also it's pretty warranted, right? Just
Yeah, but
I know.
like at that price, at the catcher position, I don't know. That's a tough sell, in my opinion.
I
Um,
agree.
a couple of other stacks that aren't like necessarily at the top, but do rate out decently that I don't mind taking some shots on. The Padres, the A's, and the Rangers. They're all cheap enough, right? You can 5-man them, get the pitchers you want, really no issues, and then fill it in with some Giants or some Colorado bats. Just fill it in with cores. So I think there's two ways to approach it. In my opinion, is like eating the chalk pitching, 5-manning one of these lower owned stacks and filling it in with cores, or getting a little bit different at pitcher and just 5-manning the Giants and then filling it in with some of the teams that are popping in the A+. So
Yeah, I can't really disagree with you on much of that, and especially when you see who's really going for Colorado tonight. Like Carson Palmquist might be a top 5 worst starting pitcher in the entire league. Like he's he is dog shit. Like he's really really bad. And when you go look at like even just like his own pitch mix stuff, like he's got a sink. Actually, I take it back a little bit. He's got a sinker and a slider that are decent, but not. His slider's good. His sinker is okay. His cutter stinks, and his changeup stinks. So, if you're telling me he's going to throw a bad fastball, a bad changeup, and an okay sinker and cores tonight, I kind of want to attack him. Athletics, I don't know if I'm going to get to them. I like them, but I think Soriano is a little bit better than we probably think. But if you get past him, that bullpen is just so horrendous.
Crash.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. And when you go and sort here too, and this is also why Tribe is saying this also, they're very similar in price to San Francisco, so you don't really have to change your build path that much to get different. So I just wanted to explain why also he likes them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I totally agree, man. If I had to give you my favorite team of the night that I wanted to play, I'm playing the 44 also. For me, it's probably going to be the Angels again. I just think that they're way too cheap for the home run upside and stolen base upside that they give you. It's really, really tough to get away from them. I do like Seattle because I do think you can get, Brandon Pfaadt is
fart noise.
Yeah, Brandon Pfaadt is definitely a fart noise, and a weak ass whoopee cushion at that, right? Like he's the dude who like they paid him, they extended him this year and they paid him a little bit more money, and he's just like very, very Jekyll and Hyde. And this is what really sold me on this Tribe. So when I look at Brandon Pfaadt here, right, this is him against righties. He's not striking anybody out. His true average is very high. Expected slugging is very high. Expected batting average is very high. Expected home runs is very high. Expected home run for plate appearance, he is top 5 on the slate worse, right? Against right-handed hitting. And then when you get him against lefties, let me see him. So lefties, true average, dog shit. K percentage, dog shit. He's not walking people, but it doesn't matter when you're giving up hits. Like, I don't care how many people you walk.
Right.
Expected slugging highest on the slate. Expected home runs, very high. And from the left side of the plate, yeah, he's like lower middle of the pack for home run per plate appearance. But if those lefties are, Cal Raleigh being one of them, if you're going to say he's going to go up against Cal Raleigh, he's going to go up against Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco. Like, I just don't like this spot, and their bullpen has been getting absolutely murked as of late. So I do like Seattle. But yeah, really, it's going to be the Angels for me. It's going to be Seattle. I like the Mets as a contrarian, but I don't think I want to play them in small field today. I just think you can get to Gore a little bit just with how they profile, but I also think Gore's an elite pitcher. Are sheets like Minnesota? I don't know how I feel about that. You have a take on the Twins tonight?
I'm not getting there in small field. I get it. Like, I actually think tonight is a really good large field night because if you look at the models, like it completely justifies fading cores and just load up at these teams that are like towards the top with the 20 plus 8+ runs projection. Just cycle through those teams, different combinations of those stacks, eat the chalk pitching, at least one of the chalk pitchers, I guess. And you're probably good, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I may go take a stab at some large field lineups tonight just to also see I could enter in late and, hopefully I catch lightning in a bottle or something. But yeah I'm not going to get to, I'm with you. I'm just not going to get to Minnesota today. Tyler Mahle, while I think he's not going to be as good as he's been, he's also somebody I don't know if I really want to pick on with that lineup too much. And,
or a shorter slate, sure, but it's 9 games tonight? Or no, 11 games.
11. Sorry, 9? Yes, 11.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even think I don't even want to mess with that. Another team I was going to call out that I like, but they're just a little pricey. Actually, yeah, it's Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but I was just looking at them.
The way that they profile here, man, is so good, but they're just so expensive.
Remember when Giolito was an ace? Good times.
Oh my God, yeah, and we have them projected as a value too, and I don't understand it. I don't get what the models are seeing there, but it kind of seems like a spot where you can take both sides of it. So yeah, I like Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I just at 40 at the the $4,500 mark almost per player. I'm a little I don't know.
Yeah, they're priced up.
But yeah, for me, it's going to be the Angels. It's going to be Seattle, and yeah, obviously we're going to play the Giants too. You got to play the Giants. You consider them.
In small field, you're playing the Giants. Don't overthink things.
Yep, I totally agree. Got some.
The question isn't whether you're playing the Giants. The question is are you 5-manning the Giants? But either way, you're playing Giants.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's just wild that they're not even priced up they're in cores relative to other teams that go to cores. They're expensive.
People think they suck.
I mean, they
do kind of suck, but
yeah, they are not a great team by any means. And even our research sheets seem to not really love them tonight either. Just
that's
how
what I'm
they
saying.
profile.
In large field, fade cores. This is a perfect fade core slate for large field.
Yes, it is. All right, we got Andy, aka Worm Burner. Join me, Jason. I don't know. That sounds like a cult invite. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I love you, Worm. You're my boy. I just don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. We got Anthony saying Colorado, Tampa Bay, Atlanta standing out to me. Yeah, I mean, Colorado, not surprising. Tampa Bay, we both like. Atlanta against Quinn Priester. What are your thoughts, Tribe? My first thought is I don't think I'm going to go there.
I mean, large field, if you want to get different with the team just based on talent, I get it. Same thing with the Yankees. Noah Cameron's due for regression. The Yankees have some hitters, so if you want to go there, for sure. I understand it. Certain teams, I understand why you would play them. The upside is there, right? Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, sure.
Yeah, I hear it. It's just
and then Colorado's always under-owned. The Colorado side is always under-owned on the core slates.
It definitely is. The only thing that worries me about them, and again, maybe I shouldn't worry about this on a slate, this size, but San Francisco's bullpen is pretty good.
I mean, their starting pitcher I don't think is that bad either.
He's not bad, but his pitch mix just leads him to here's what's going to happen tonight. If he's missing with his fastball tonight, I think there's a real chance he's going to get crushed. If his fastball is on, I do think he's going to have an okay outing. That slurve, man, and if you get a chance to watch it tonight, I don't know if you're going to watch the games, probably not, but if you do get a chance to watch it, his slurve he throws has this horizontal break on it, and it's like a tailor-made pitch to just get crushed in cores, like tailor made. So I don't love it. Granted, the Colorado Rockies are inept against left-handed pitching, but I just don't want to. I just don't know if I want to do that. San Francisco's bullpen's been pretty nails too, but yeah, Colorado's very underowned. But how often do they win slates too?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, their most expensive hitters are 4,200 and 4,000, so that's something to consider.
Yeah, this is a weird core slate where like cores isn't priced up.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Last thing we're going to go to before we get to our sims. Actually, two things. I want to give Tribe a shout out here. So he puts out this article multiple times per week, and you should come check it out over at Paydirt DFS, especially if you're crunched for time and you can't tune into a show. Maybe you're building on your phone. You take a train to work. Maybe you're rushing home and you only have a few minutes. He puts together this algorithm-driven article that is just nails. It breaks down all of our pitching options by the best ceiling. Gore, Shane Smith, Fried, Cease, Harrison, the guys we've discussed, pitcher ownership, breaking that down for you. And he also goes down and breaks down our hitters too. Who has the highest ceiling, and this could actually help lead you to stacking. Like Arizona tonight, the top 3 hitters in ceiling, are Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. So maybe you consider them, right? So he also breaks down the value too. We got the Lamont Wade start coming tonight.
He's actually got that lineup came out as I was writing the article. He's actually not in.
He's not?
No.
Pain. Oh my.
That's always. So I will give that caveat. Like, bear in mind, like sometimes, like as the article is being written, lineups will come out and something will happen. The guy we expect to be in isn't actually in. So Lamont Wade is not in. Ignore him as a value. The rest of those guys are all in. Like Roman Anthony is probably like the top value guy.
Probably is.
I mean, he's 4K, so it's not. I don't know how much of a value, but like his 2x is like insanely high, even given his price.
Yeah.
Starling Marte from the Mets. You mentioned the Mets earlier, right? And then Joe Adele, who's been crushing for the Angels.
It's my fucking boy.
Yeah, that's another cheap guy I really like. If you're stacking Angels, like that's an easy way to like kind of lower it up. Like Trout is always going to be owned. People like Ward, so throwing Adele in there.
Definitely, Joe Adele, man, I love that guy so much. He's one of those guys that I like to refer to as, like I'm his biggest fan outside of his mother. Probably, I love Joe Adele. I love him, man. He also breaks down the A+ run stack, so that way you have teams that you could pick from. And also too, with this table, I don't know why it came out blurry. It usually doesn't come out blurry.
Listen, man, WordPress was on some bullshit tonight.
That's all right, man. That's okay. But I also wanted to check out our matchup tables here. So I say this every week. This is my favorite tool to use to build lineups, especially when you look at like the average trend of a matchup, what teams are trending for, their trending scores, the entire 9. Angels just look really good. Tampa Bay looks really good. And also the thing about Tampa Bay is that they can realize the ceiling against, any type of pitcher, right? So they're going up against Giolito, we don't think is good. I kind of like that a lot. The Angels are more dependent upon bad pitching, and they got Mitch Spence tonight, I think. Yeah.
Mitch Spence and a trash bullpen behind him.
Yep, in a hitter's ballpark. So I love that.
They're playing in whatever nonsense the A's are the home team tonight.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that park is stupid.
Oh no, actually no. Angels are the home team. Angels.
Oh okay. I was gonna say that A's park is stupid.
It's a shoebox. It's literally a shoebox with fucking grass on it. It looks like a diorama I made in elementary school. Yeah. It does.
Yeah, you did your school project, like you built what you thought a baseball field should look like with construction.
100%, and the dimensions look like it, and you can tell they took the effort to like decorate it that way too.
Yeah.
Oh God, just poverty organizations are going to stay poverty. Some other teams here too. The Mets have a really good matchup. So this is one of those reasons why like Tribe is talking about this is a good large field slate. The Mets, in my opinion, are like an elite large field play tonight. Gore's going to get ownership. If you get past Gore, it is open season on that bullpen. And I think the best game the Mets put up this year were against the Nationals. I think they hit like 7 home runs against them. earlier this year, and it was like a 17-5 game. I remember it vividly because it was on a Thursday day, like 6:05 game slate that nobody fucking plays, and we're bitching about, oh, the Mets never come through. The Sheets love the Mets, and they never come through. And then they put up fucking 17 runs on a slate that nobody played. So they seem like an elite play. Boston hits every single metric here too. They're trending score. They're 8+ or last 10. They're trending 8+ here. They're hitting every metric. When we go look at the worst matchups for today, Colorado against the Giants. There's that bullpen I was referencing. Washington against the Mets. So, I mean, if you want to pick on Griffin Cannon, go ahead. I mean, I think he's a little riskier than people think, but I think it's small field. He's really good. Texas against Minnesota. And so on and so forth. St. Louis against Toronto, which makes me like Bassett a little bit. And top trending teams, just their trending score: Boston, the Mets, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and the Angels, and also the Athletics there too. So good call by you, Tribe. And the worst trending team, Colorado, followed by San Diego on the slate, National, Texas, and even San Francisco, not trending great either. But San Francisco does have a good matchup. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to go look at our contest simulations just to see, kind of who's overvalued, who's undervalued. Please keep in mind that contest simulations do take ownership into account. So if you see one of the pitchers we mentioned here, aka Bassett or somebody else that's low owned, not here, it's not because they're not a good play. It just means that they're not really gaining much ownership. So sorting by starting pitchers here, small field exposure: Shane Smith, Max Fried, Kyle Harrison, Griffin Canning. There is Chris Bassett and Dylan Cease, and also Mackenzie Gore is a minimal value.
So you know who should not be playing? Bum ass Lance McCullers.
Yeah, do not play Lance McCullers, and we're going to show you why. So when you sort by edge, look at this negative edge you get from playing Lance McCullers tonight. Over 5,000 simulations, probably even more than that. I don't know how many fucking simulations James runs now, but he shows up in winning lineups less than 1% of the time, and he's going to be 30% owned. You should not be playing Lance McCullers today. At least in small field, don't do it. Dylan Cease, also pretty negative edge, but his ownership is high. He has a little bit more of an exposure. So if you want to get that to take on your volatility, be my guest. Highest edge is Smith, Harrison, Fried, Canning, Bassett. And we also have some minimal edge on Soriano and Gore. We go look at offenses for tonight. Angels, love it. That's probably where I'm going to start most of my builds today with the Seattle. Angels. Yep, Seattle too. And I'll hand on, any religious book you want me to put a hand on. I did not look at this prior. So look at me. I'm a fucking human simulator. That's what this is, Tribe. But then you also have Arizona, Boston, and you get some athletics representation there too. We go look at overall exposures. These are hitters and pitchers. When you sort by edge, you can see it's just
up there. Adele. Hello.
Yep, Joe Adele.
Other mother side.
Joe Adele? You mean God? Is that who you mean? You met him, and you met his friends, the Apostles here, like all the other Angels. The Angels are pretty good stack tonight. There's also Seattle. There's Boston, but yeah, really, if you want to make a really interesting lineup, go Shane Smith to start your build today. Small field, I'm going to start Shane Smith, and then I'm either going to add in Chris Bassett or Griffin Canning. And then I'm going to probably start with the Angels, San Francisco, or Seattle. What about you, Tribe? Any other different thoughts than that?
Nah. I'm with you. Not on Bassett.
Okay.
But everything else, I'm with you.
Oh, you're gonna regret that. I'm just saying, you're gonna regret that. Let's get to some questions, Ryan. I'll never in my life miss a Jason O stream for as long as my lungs are capable of inhaling oxygen. That's my fucking boy right there, the Dong Master himself, the Wind Howler. Ryan, that's my guy. Just won a live final seat too. He is sharp. He is so sharp. I swear.
Hey, congrats.
That's my boy. He may go out, in the morning and, lick his finger and put it up in the air to figure out where the wind's blowing. But when you win a live final seat, I don't question your methods, man. Good for you. That's my boy, Ryan. Thanks for the support always. Oh, we got Ari, a.k.a. Pablo. You guys looking good. Lance being hated is an outlier PD-specific take based on his projection. He has smashed his last couple of starts. Yeah, he has.
Even around the industry, he's not projecting great. He projects fine, but
yeah, he's not projecting
at
like
most
some,
he's projecting like for maybe 2x his salary, if that. What was he 8,500?
the
Like
I'm
if he were
seeing him
if he
like
were
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
if you were like 7K, like all right, cool, but
Yeah,
8,500, I'm good.
I mean, most places that I see him projected at, I'm seeing like 14 to 16 in that
Yeah,
range.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like he's
And
projecting highly like anywhere else in the industry. Like we're low on
yeah,
him, but so like
well,
he's pretty low regardless. Like we have him, I think, at
yeah,
like 12. Like 12 to 14 versus 14, 12 versus 16 is like, do I want to play
100%.
30% 16 median projection? Not really.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, if you're doing like an MME set, you definitely want to get some exposure just to see. But
Right.
Chicago has really not been they haven't been great, but they haven't been like the worst team ever either. Like they've been a little bit punchier. And I don't know. Like I'm going to trust our projections here. And
Yeah.
also, when you look at who McCullers did it against, he did it against the Athletics at home, and he did it on the road at Pittsburgh. Two decently good, pitchers parks, and also Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has been better though too, so I guess that's a better feather in his cap. But I'm not going to go there. If you want to take it in small field to take on your volatility, you can. I'm just not going to touch it. And Jay Hemi, now you said Angels. Will that be a primary or a San Francisco? So it's not like one's going to be my primary because I'm running a few different lineups. And I think I speak for Tribe and myself when I both say this is that, you want to probably play both in some capacity. It's just, San Francisco is really cheap for a team in cores. And this is a type of slate where the pay down pitching seems like it could get you to where you need to get to. If this was a slate where like the top arms on the slate were all 8,500 and above, and every cheap pitcher had like a ward on them, I kind of can see that pivoting. But no, I think you could play both. Me personally, I'm just going to lean more with the Angels. I just think they have a little bit more home run upside. I'm definitely going to be playing San Francisco, one of my three for sure.
Yeah. I mean, take this for what it's worth. I would say this: if I'm in a contest less than 500 people, I'm probably 5-manning Giants, and then I will fit Angels in with that. Once I start getting above 500, I will 5-man Angels and sprinkle in Giants.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree, but
especially if I'm eating the chalk pitching.
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally agree, and that's why I think a team like Seattle comes into really good play tonight. If you're going to go play like McCullers Cease or McCullers Canning, like go play Seattle. So all right. With that said, I feel like
we got to build, bro.
Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, 7:10. We got about 40 minutes. We're doing all right. But
yeah, I gotta like multitask and cook for my children at the same time. So.
Oh yeah. I forgot. You got kids and you got kids and responsibilities and shit. I just got to
you got to feed them and
Yeah, I just got a fiance
and water. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know. Damn kids needing things to survive. But just before we go, anybody have any other questions? Last minute questions they want to ask Tribe or myself? And no, Tribe is not single, so calm down.
Unless you're trying to put in all these bills, then we can maybe work something out.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We'll be back next week. Let's post those screenshots when we get those trophies tonight. I feel pretty good. And my name is Jason. This is Tribe, and thank you for tuning in as always, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.